Oh, hi guys! What's up? It's Ted Vivman here, bringing you another battle. This is yet another UU game I had with another person off Smogon, and I've made some changes around it now that I'm now packing a Porygon Z, which was actually banned from RU. It's now in BL2, and then I added Kingdra, Swampert, and Togekiss, and then he's got a pretty standard UU team himself, except he's got a random Absol, which, is in NU, but it's still a pretty effective Pokemon even in UU, just because, that stab, priority, sucker punch is always, something to not underestimate. So, but further ado, enough chit-chat, let's get this battle going. So, what does he lead with? I know I lead my Porygon Z. This is a Scarf Porygon Z with, adaptability. I'm modest, and all that fun stuff. He's going to lead himself, which, I expect him to carry the, maybe Stealth Rocks, play the Focus Sash. But I go right on the offensive right away with my Tri-Attack. And I do carry Trick, but I didn't know what kind of Azoff it was. I don't know if it was Banded or Scarfed or whatever he was. But he does turn out to have the Focus Sash. And he did what I predicted him to do. He does have the Stealth Rocks. So, which, I'm kind of concerned about, just because I do have some Pokemon that are weak against it, but I do have my Spitz, the only spinner I use in UU, Hitmontop, so I'm not too concerned about it. But here he switches out, and, to preserve his Azoff for later, I guess, goes onto his Togekiss, hoping to, take a Tri-Attack pretty well. And he really doesn't. It still does well over half, but here he shows he's Scarfed. So I'm like, you're Scarfing a Togekiss. Oh, well, that kind of sucks, because my Porygon Z's modest. He's obviously a timid Togekiss, which, kind of sucks, but I'm able to finish him off. I luckily do not get flinched by the Air Slash, thanks to their, Histering Grace and stuff, but I'm able to take down the Togekiss, so I'm up to 6-5. Out comes Nidoking, and he's Scarfed too. And I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? Why on earth do you have two Scarfers? But I can't lie, I sometimes run two Scarfers too, but that kind of sucks, because it completely, screws for my Porygon Z. But Porygon Z is still awesome, so. But here I bring up my Togekiss. This is a defensive Togekiss, and he's locked into Earth Power, so he's forced to switch. So I go for the Thunder Wave, expecting him to switch into whatever. He actually goes into his Azoff with just 1 HP left, which was a pretty good switch, because, anything else pretty much would get crippled by Thunder Wave. So pretty good switch. I don't have Stealth Rocks though, so it would not have, I wasn't able to take care of that right then and there. But knowing I'm faster, didn't want anything else to miss. I just went for the Aura Sphere to be safe, because I'm only running Air Slash and Aura Sphere as my only offensive moves. I have T-Wave and Roost. Because this Togekiss has quite a bunch of special defensive investment. I think it's a standard Smogon set. It's got, max HP, a pretty hefty chunk of the special defense, and then some defensive investment too. But here he goes into his Absol, and I'm kind of concerned he has Sucker Punch, but here he shows Night Slash. And I really wasn't sure what to expect. I wasn't sure if he was choiced or what. But, Togekiss naturally outspeeds Absol. And, which got me the feeling, even though, that Aura Sphere didn't kill, which is because I don't have much special attack investment in this thing. But he gets me thinking that this Absol is also Scarfed, and I'm just, because that damage was too, wasn't that great to be banded. But it's like, seriously, are you kidding? 3 Scarfers on a team. 3 Scarfers. Are you freaking kidding me? It's just crazy. But of course, I go to pretty much my physical wall, which is my Hitmontop. Goes for the Night Slash, and it does a pretty hefty chunk, because that was a crit. It just doesn't really matter in the long run, just because, my Hitmontop's a bulky, it's a bulky Pokemon. So, but, he keeps going first, and I just want to get these rocks out of here, which is why I don't go for the Sucker Punch right here. But that second Night Slash, you could see how little it did. Hopefully, I go for the Rapid Spin kill. I don't get it, which is fine. But, leaves him with a tiny sliver, and, not too big of a deal. But, at this point, I just finished him off with a Sucker Punch, just to show you that's what you get for running 3 Scarfers. So, God, that really frustrated me. There was just no way that thing was banded. And, if he wasn't choiced, he would have gone for Psycho Cut. So, whatever. But, out comes Nidoking again. And I could have switched to Togekiss here. I could have switched to, I don't know if I had any other ground resist. But I go into Swampert, and, he actually goes for Earth Power again, despite I could have easily gone into Togekiss. But, he took the risk, and he went for Earth Power, and it does, a decent chunk to my Swampert. This is my defensive Swampert. and it's physically defensive, and it has mixed attacking, and Earthquake, Scald, Ice Beam, and then it carries Stealth Rocks. But he goes for those Earth powers, and this second Earth power does get me into Torrent range. I went for the Scald to be kind of safe. He's maybe expecting him to switch or something, and hopefully getting a burn or whatever switched in. But this Torrent boosted Scald, even though with no investment, will KO this Needleking, which is amazing. So Swampert proving how amazing it is without any offensive investments, which is pretty awesome. So now goes the Needleking, and out comes now his Ambipom, and this thing proved to be it's got a pretty interesting set. So I switch out, I go into my Hitmontop. It's probably the best thing to take a fake out because it's my physically defensive, my best physically defensive Pokemon. Get the Intimidate off, knowing his Technician boosted fake out's going to do an incredible amount of damage to me, and it really doesn't, which is pretty solid. So I get that leftovers recovery, and I really don't want to overpredict because I know I think he's down to this and his Raikou. And, I could have Toxic because he probably would have switched anyway. I was probably fearing the close combat. But it didn't really, it wouldn't have mattered if I went for the Toxic or not. Because I just go for the, stab close combat. And even though no attack investment, it's still going to do over half of that Raikou, which is pretty impressive. And, at this point, I'm thinking that, a Thunderbolt is rather obvious. He wants to sit on top gone, knowing that it's probably the biggest threat to his Ambipom. So, I switch out, go into my Swampert, predicting the Thunderbolt, which is, a pretty good play on my part. And he does go for the T-Bolt. So, it's a pretty good idea for me to keep my Swampert alive. So, because this Raikou is actually not Choice, it's actually Life Orb. He shows here by going for the Shadow Ball. And even though it's a Life Orb Shadow Ball, I don't know if this was a timid Raikou or a modest one, but that Shadow Ball does not kill Swampert, which is amazing. And you get to use a special defense drop, but I go for that Earthquake, and down goes Raikou. Because, no way it's surviving that. So, I'm really in an incredible position right here, and because I know his last is Ambipom, so I don't care if Swampert dies at this point because there's really no point in me keeping it alive unless, maybe I can get a Skull Burn, but regardless, Fake Out's going to kill me no matter what. Even though I'm, max defense and all that stuff, still going to die. So, which is fine, no big deal, but, he takes that Life Orb recoil, switches to my Hitmontop, what's the best thing to take on Ambipom. Get that Intimidate off, and, I'm expecting maybe to return or something, but he's one of those fake-out last resort users, and that's a pretty nasty combo. Just, it's the only two moves you have in the set, fake-out and last resort, and last resort being a base 140 power move is pretty devastating. So, even though, the Ambipom's completely walled by Ghost, it's still a pretty interesting set, but get that close combat out, that last resort did not kill me, which is amazing. And I finish him off with a close combat. And guys, that'll be the game. So I hope you guys enjoyed. And that was a pretty fun UU game. I didn't really get to show off Kingdra at all, but that Kingdra was a DD substitute set, which was, pretty devastating. I never even used Shaman. So, and of course, I love using Shaman in UU, but that's pretty much how that team worked. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and we'll talk to you later, guys.